The swirling dust of HC 291 painted a desolate picture as the Xilarian research vessel broke through the planet's thin atmosphere. Chief Archaeologist Jeho Lee stood at the observation deck, his four-fingered hands clasped behind his back as he watched the barren landscape unfold below. The planet's twin suns cast long shadows across the rust-colored terrain, highlighting the unusual geometric patterns that had first caught their attention. "Chief, the energy readings are getting stronger," Sun Maypark called from her monitoring station. Her scaled skin reflected the soft blue glow of the instruments as she adjusted the sensors. "These signatures, they're unlike anything in our database." Jeho moved to her station, studying the readouts. After 20 years of exploring abandoned worlds, he had learned to trust his instincts. Something about these readings felt different. The energy patterns pulsed with a regularity that suggested artificial origin, yet they predated any known civilization in this sector. The ship's crew of 12 Xilarians had been tracking these anomalies for months, following a trail of similar signatures across 3 star systems. HC 291 was supposed to be another dead end, just another lifeless rock in an endless sea of stars. But as they descended through layers of atmospheric dust, their scanners revealed something extraordinary. There, Sunmay pointed to a massive dark shape emerging from the haze. The vessel's external lights illuminated what appeared to be a metallic surface, its weathered exterior still maintaining a dull sheen after countless years of exposure. Jeho ordered the ship to hover as they conducted initial surveys. The structure extended for kilometers in every direction, most of it buried under millennia of accumulated soil and rock. What they could see appeared to be just the tip of something far larger. "Run a deep scan," Jeho instructed. The crew worked efficiently, their movements practiced after years of working together. The scanner's results made Sunmay gasp. The metallic structure wasn't just a building. It was part of a vast complex that extended deep underground, covering an area larger than any known archaeological site. But it was the age of the structure that truly shocked them. According to their instruments, these ruins were over 10,000 years old. That placed them squarely in the era of humanity's golden age, before their mysterious disappearance from the galaxy. "Chief," Sunmay's voice trembled slightly. "I'm detecting patterns in the energy signature. They match archived samples of human technology. This could be it. After all these years, we might have found actual proof of their civilization." Jeho felt his heart race. Humans were considered almost mythical beings in modern galactic society. Stories spoke of their incredible achievements, their rapid advancement from a primitive species to one that could reshape planets. But they had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only fragments and rumors of their existence. The landing team assembled quickly, each member double-checking their environmental suits. As they descended the ship's ramp onto the planet's surface, Jeho couldn't shake the feeling that they were being washed. The wind howled around them, carrying particles of red dust that clung to their protective gear. They approached the nearest exposed section of the structure, their boots leaving clear tracks in the thick dust. Up close, the scale of the construction was even more impressive. The metal walls rose at least 30 meters above the ground, and scans indicated they extended hundreds of meters below. Sunmay's handheld scanner chirped as she ran it along the surface. "These readings are incredible. The material itself is still active at a molecular level. It's some kind of self-repairing alloy we've never encountered before." As they moved along the structure's perimeter, they discovered what appeared to be an entrance, a massive doorway, partially buried but still visible. Ancient symbols were carved into the frame, their edges sharp despite the passage of time. "Can you translate it?" Jeho asked, brushing away layers of dust from the markings. Sunmay consulted her database. "It's definitely human script, early standard Earth language. It says, Project Colossus Terminal 7. Before anyone could respond, a low humming sound emerged from deep within the structure. The ground beneath their feet vibrated slightly, and the team watched in amazement as lines of light began to appear along the building's surface, tracing patterns that had laid dormant for thousands of years. Jai-Ho realized they weren't just standing at the entrance to another ruin. They were about to uncover something that could change their understanding of human civilization forever. As the structure continued to awaken around them, he gave the order to establish a base camp. Whatever secrets this facility held, they would need time and patience to uncover them all. The twin suns began to set, casting the scene in a surreal purple twilight. As the team set up their equipment, none of them noticed the subtle changes in the energy readings, or the fact that deep beneath their feet, ancient systems were beginning to stir, responding to the presence of life after thousands of years of solitude. The morning sun cast long shadows across the excavation site as technology specialist Ta-Won Kim directed his team's efforts. Heavy machinery hummed steadily, carefully removing layers of sediment from around the ancient structure. The exposed portions of the facility gleamed dully under the harsh light, their surfaces still remarkably intact after millennia of burial. Hannah Cho, the team's youngest researcher, worked methodically in a recently cleared section. Her delicate tools exposed something crystalline embedded in a control panel. "Specialist Kim," she called out, excitement evident in her voice. "I think I've found something." Ta-Won made his way across the site, his environmental suit whirring softly with each step. The object Hannah had discovered was a data crystal, its surface etched with intricate patterns. These crystals were legendary among archaeologists, humanity's preferred method of data storage, capable of holding vast amounts of information in their molecular structure. "Careful," Ta-Won warned as Hannah extracted the crystal. The information inside could be fragile. They had found similar crystals before, but most had been damaged beyond recovery. This one, however, still held a faint inner glow, a sign it might still be functional. The team gathered around as they connected the crystal to their analysis equipment. At first, nothing happened. Then, streams of data began flowing across their screens. Most was corrupted, but fragments remained intact. Words appeared: Project Colossus, Planetary Defense, Emergency Protocol. This wasn't just any facility, Hannah said, her eyes wide as she processed the information. They were building something here, something massive. Their discovery spurred the team to work faster. As they cleared more areas, the true scale of the facility became apparent. The hangar they had uncovered stretched for kilometers underground, its ceiling lost in darkness despite their powerful lights. Massive support structures suggested it once held something of incredible size. Deep within the facility, they found a sealed chamber. The door's locking mechanism, despite its age, responded to their presence. Inside, banks of ancient computers lined the walls, their surfaces covered in a protective film that had preserved them through the ages. As the team set up their equipment, something unexpected happened. A soft blue light began pulsing through the room's circuits. A holographic interface flickered to life in the center of the chamber, its image unstable but gradually solidifying into a humanoid form. "Welcome to Project Colossus Control Center," a voice echoed through the chamber, speaking in ancient Earth standard. "Please state your authorization level." The team stood frozen, watching the hologram stabilize. None of them had ever encountered a functioning human AI before. Most had been destroyed or had degraded beyond recovery during humanity's disappearance. Ta-Won stepped forward, carefully choosing his words in the ancient language. "We are researchers. We wish to learn about this facility." The hologram flickered, its features becoming clearer. It appeared as a human male, dressed in what historical records suggested was formal scientific attire. Processing request. Limited access granted to historical archives. Screens around the room came to life, displaying schematics and data streams. The AI began explaining the facility's purpose, but much of its memory appeared corrupted. It spoke of great danger, of humanity's last stand, of a weapon unlike any ever created. Hannah worked quickly to record everything, knowing the system could fail at any moment. "The power systems are still functional," she reported, but they're operating at minimal capacity. We need to stabilize them if we want to learn more. As they worked to restore power to the facility, none of them noticed the subtle changes in the AI's behavior. With each passing hour, more systems came online, and more memory blocks were restored. Deep within its core programming, ancient protocols began to activate. The team's excitement grew as they uncovered more data crystals, each containing pieces of the puzzle. Project Colossus wasn't just a weapon. It was humanity's ultimate creation, a last resort built in secret as their civilization faced an unknown threat. As the second sun set, casting the facility in deep shadows, Ta-1 made a decision. They would need to call in additional resources. Whatever they had discovered here was too important to risk losing. As he sent the message to headquarters, the AI watched silently, its protocols continuing to execute sequences that had waited thousands of years for this moment. The facility had awakened, and with it, humanity's final legacy was stirring from its long slumber. The true purpose of Project Colossus was still hidden in corrupted data files. But soon, very soon, the galaxy would remember why humans had been both feared and respected among the stars. The holographic figure of archive keeper Du Hyun flickered steadily in the control room as the Xelarian research team gathered around. The A's appearance had fully stabilized, showing the image of a human in formal military dress, its demeanor carrying the weight of ancient knowledge. "I am archive keeper Du Hyun, custodian of Project Colossus," the AI announced, its voice echoing through the chamber. "My primary directive is to preserve humanity's final defense system until it is needed again." The team exchanged glances as Du Hyun began displaying holographic images of Earth, humanity's lost homeworld. The images showed a thriving civilization at its peak, cities that stretched into the skies, and ships that could traverse galaxies in moments. Approximately 10,000 years ago, Du Hyun continued, our long-range sensors detected something approaching from the void between galaxies. We called them the Devourers, entities that existed beyond our understanding of physics, consuming entire star systems to fuel their existence. The hologram shifted to show massive dark shapes moving between stars, leaving dead systems in their wake. The scale was difficult to comprehend. Entire planets disappeared in their presence. Conventional weapons proved useless, Du Hyun explained. The Devourers operated on principles we had never encountered. Humanity faced extinction. In response, we developed something unprecedented, technology to convert entire planets into living warships. The AI displayed schematics of massive transformation systems, showing how planetary matter could be restructured at the atomic level. This facility, HC-291, houses our greatest achievement, the first successful planetary conversion system. Tai-1 stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overwhelming his caution. "Are you saying this entire planet is a weapon?" Du Hyun finished. "The surface and crust can be reconfigured into a battle configuration. The planet's core serves as a power source, capable of channeling energy on a stellar scale." Hannah's instruments detected increasing power signatures throughout the facility as Du Hyun spoke. Ancient systems were awakening, responding to the AI's activation protocols. But why was it abandoned? Sunmai asked, recording everything on her datapad. What happened to humanity? Du Hyun's hologram showed a moment of what appeared to be sadness, an impressive display of emotional simulation for an ancient AI. The final battle took place in the space between galaxies. Humanity succeeded in driving back the Devourers, but the cost was devastating. Earth was lost, along with most of our colony worlds. The AI projected a map of known space, highlighting the locations of other facilities like HC-291. This facility is one of 7 planetary warships we created. Each was placed in strategic locations, dormant but ready to defend against the Devourer's return. As the team processed this information, warning signals began flashing across the facility's monitors. Du Hyun's expression became grave. "I detect temporal anomalies matching Devourer signatures at the edge of this galaxy. The threat we prepared for is returning. The chamber hummed with increasing energy as more systems activated. Screens displayed status reports of various subsystems coming online, processes that had laid dormant for millennia beginning their startup sequences. This facility was not meant to be merely a museum piece. Du Hyun explained, its voice carrying a note of urgency. It is humanity's gift to future civilizations, a defense against threats beyond conventional understanding. The ground beneath their feet began to vibrate slightly as ancient machinery deep within the planet stirred to life. Through the facility's windows, they could see lines of energy beginning to trace patterns across the landscape. You must make a choice, Du Hyun addressed the team. This weapon was created by humanity, but it was always meant to protect all sentient life. Will you take up this responsibility? Will you help activate the defense system humanity left behind? The team looked at each other, the weight of the decision heavy in the air. They had come seeking archaeological treasures, but had found something far more significant, humanity's last gift to the galaxy, and perhaps its only hope against an ancient enemy's return. As they stood there, considering their answer, the facility continued its automatic awakening sequence. Deep below the surface, massive reactors began charging, preparing for a transformation that would turn their archaeological dig site into the most powerful weapon the galaxy had ever known. Security Officer Min Ji Kang's fingers moved swiftly across the ancient control panels as she delved deeper into the facility's historical archives. The holographic displays filled the room with a soft blue glow, showing schematics that made her breath catch in her throat. Each new file revealed capabilities that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. "This is beyond anything we imagined," she whispered, her scaled skin reflecting the light of the displays. "The transformation process doesn't just reshape the planet's surface, it reconstructs matter at the quantum level." Chief Engineer Hyun Woo Choi stood beside her, his eyes wide as he studied the technical readouts. The quantum core at the planet's center pulsed with barely contained power, its energy readings off any scale their instruments could measure. "The core isn't just operational," he said. "It's been maintaining itself all these years, waiting for activation." The schematics showed how the planet would change once fully activated. The crust would split along predetermined lines, massive sections rising and reforming into weapon systems that could harness the power of stars. Cities lay dormant beneath the surface, ready to house crews of thousands. The planet's molten core served as both power source and matter reservoir, capable of producing nearly unlimited resources. "Look at these weapon specifications," Minji said, bringing up another file. They didn't just build weapons that could destroy ships or planets. These systems could literally tear apart the fabric of space-time. They could collapse entire solar systems into artificial black holes. The facility's AI, Du Hyun, appeared beside them. The Juggernaut was designed to match the Devourer's power. Conventional weapons proved useless against beings that could consume stars. We had to create something that could fight on their level. Hyun Woo's instruments detected power fluctuations as more systems came online. Deep beneath their feet, ancient machinery hummed to life, beginning the slow process of awakening. "The transformation sequence is already starting," he noted. "We're past the point of stopping it." The team watched in awe as the facility's main viewing screen displayed the planet's surface. Massive plates of Earth were shifting, revealing gleaming metal structures underneath. Energy conduits lit up across the landscape like glowing veins, carrying power from the quantum core to various systems. "The Juggernaut doesn't just fight," Minji explained as she uncovered more data. "It can create matter from energy, rebuild destroyed systems in minutes, and generate shields that can withstand the force of a supernova." Humanity didn't just build a weapon. They created a self-sustaining fortress capable of protecting entire galaxies. Hyun Woo's analysis of the quantum core revealed even more surprises. The power system operates on principles we barely understand. It's not just drawing energy from the planet's core. It's tapping into the quantum fabric of space itself. With this kind of power, the legends about humans reshaping reality might not have been exaggerations. As they studied the records, warning signals began flashing across multiple screens. The AI's expression became serious. The defense grid has detected anomalies matching Devourer signatures. The enemy humanity fought is returning, just as they predicted. The facility's transformation accelerated in response to the threat. Through the observation windows, they could see the planet's surface beginning to crack along predetermined lines, revealing the true form of humanity's greatest creation. The sight was both terrifying and beautiful, the birth of a machine that could reshape the galaxy itself. "We need to make a decision," Minji said, looking at her colleagues. "Do we try to stop this, or do we accept humanity's legacy and help guide this weapon against the coming threat?" The answer became clear as their instruments detected more anomalies at the galaxy's edge. Whatever was coming, it was beyond anything their civilization had faced. Humanity had prepared for this moment, leaving behind not just a weapon, but hope for the galaxy's survival. As the transformation continued, the team began to understand their role. They weren't just archaeologists anymore. They had become the inheritors of humanity's most powerful creation, tasked with using it to protect all life in the galaxy. The weight of this responsibility settled over them as they watched their dig site transform into the most powerful warship ever created. The Deep Space Monitoring Station hummed with activity as data analyst Yuna Song stared intently at her screens. The patterns emerging from the void between stars made her blood run cold. Every few minutes, another anomaly would appear, matching perfectly with the ancient records of humanity's greatest enemy. "Director Park," she called out, her voice tight with urgency. "You need to see this immediately." Research Director Jin-Ho Park moved quickly to her station, his usual calm demeanor shaken by the intensity in her voice. The main display showed a map of the galaxy, with dark spots appearing at regular intervals along its outer rim. "These energy signatures," Yun-At explained, pointing to the readings, "they're identical to the Devourer patterns in the facility's database. But they're not just similar, they're exact matches." Jin-Ho's face grew grave as he studied the data. The Devourers weren't just returning, they were following the same invasion pattern they had used against humanity thousands of years ago. Their movements suggested intelligence, purpose, and most worryingly, memory. "Calculate their trajectory," he ordered, and Yuna's fingers flew across the holographic controls. The projection showed the Devourer's path cutting through multiple populated systems, including several major Xilarian colonies. At their current speed, Yuna reported, they'll reach the first populated system in 19 days. The Xilarian homeworlds will be reached in less than a month. The facility's AI, Do-hyun, materialized beside them, its expression serious. "The patterns confirm it. These are the same entities we fought millennia ago. They have returned to finish what they started." Around them, the facility continued its transformation. Through the reinforced windows, they could see massive sections of the planet's surface shifting, revealing weapon systems that had laid dormant for thousands of years. The sight would have been fascinating under different circumstances, but now it filled them with dread. "Show me the projected casualties if they reach populated space," Jin-Ho requested, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The numbers that appeared on screen were staggering, billions of lives at risk across multiple species and systems. Yuna pulled up more detailed scans of the approaching entities. The Devourers appeared as massive void spaces in normal spacetime, their true forms hidden within dimensional rifts that defied conventional physics. Their size had grown since humanity's records. Some now rivaled small stars in scale. "They've evolved," Do-hyun observed, analyzing the data. "Their energy absorption capabilities have increased significantly. Standard defensive systems will be even less effective than before." Jin-Ho moved to the facility's main communication array, knowing the weight of the message he needed to send. "We need to alert the Galactic Council," he said. "But we also need to be careful how we present this. Mass panic could be as destructive as the enemy itself." As he composed the message, Yuna continued monitoring the approaching threat. Each new scan revealed more details about their ancient enemy, how they moved between stars, how they consumed energy, and most importantly, how they chose their targets. "Director," she called out suddenly, "I'm detecting changes in their formation. They're accelerating." The projected arrival times on her screen began to shift, counting down faster than before. "We don't have weeks. At this new speed, we have days at most." The facility seemed to respond to the increased threat, its transformation accelerating. The ground shook more intensely as massive machinery activated, preparing the planet-sized weapon for its first battle in 10,000 years. Jinho looked at the team gathered around him. Archaeologists and researchers who had come seeking knowledge, now finding themselves on the front line of an ancient war. They had uncovered humanity's most powerful weapon, but using it effectively was another matter entirely. "Send the alert to all major systems," he ordered. "Priority level maximum, and begin downloading everything we have on the Devourer's attack patterns. If we're going to use this weapon, we need to understand exactly what we're fighting." As the warning messages went out across subspace channels, the team watched the approaching darkness on their screens. Humanity had faced this enemy before and managed to drive them back, but at a terrible cost. Now their legacy of defense would be tested once again, with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. Technician Seijin Quan stood at the main control center, his hands hovering over the ancient interface as warning lights flashed across every screen. The facility's transformation sequence had initiated automatically, triggered by the approaching threat. Deep beneath the surface, machinery that had slumbered for millennia roared to life. "We need to stabilize the power flow," Seijin called out as energy readings spiked dangerously. The quantum core was pumping massive amounts of power through systems that hadn't been active in thousands of years. Through the reinforced windows, they watched in awe as huge sections of the planet's surface began to shift and change. The communications array suddenly lit up with urgent messages from the Galactic Council. Their demands were clear and immediate. "Cease all activities at the facility." The Council feared the activation of such a powerful ancient weapon could trigger an interstellar crisis. "We can't stop it even if we wanted to," Seijin explained to his superiors as another section of the planet's crust split open, revealing gleaming metal structures beneath. The transformation sequence is hardwired into the planet's core systems. It's responding to a threat protocol that overrides all other commands. The ground shook continuously now as massive plates of Earth shifted position. Structures larger than cities emerged from beneath the surface, their purposes becoming clear as they took shape. Weapon systems, shield generators, and propulsion arrays all rose from their ancient slumber, perfectly preserved by technology far beyond current understanding. Dohyun's hologram appeared beside Seijin, monitoring the transformation. "The process is proceeding as designed. Estimated time to full combat readiness: 6 hours. More urgent communications flooded in as nearby systems detected the massive energy signatures. Some offered help, others demanded explanations, and a few threatened military intervention. But as the transformation continued, it became clear that no conventional force could stop what was happening. Seijin worked frantically to stabilize critical systems as they came online. Each new activation revealed more of humanity's incredible achievements. Energy shields powerful enough to withstand supernovas flickered to life around the emerging warship. Weapon arrays capable of reshaping space-time itself powered up, their targeting systems automatically tracking the approaching threat. "The Council is deploying peacekeeping forces," someone announced from the communication station. "They'll be here within hours." But Seijin knew it wouldn't matter. The transformation had passed the point of no return. The planet's core had become a living reactor, pumping unimaginable amounts of energy through the awakening systems. The surface continued to reshape itself, kilometers-thick plates of metal and earth moving with impossible precision. In orbit, the team's research vessels captured incredible footage of the transformation. What had been a seemingly dead world was becoming something else entirely. a machine of war larger than anything the galaxy had seen since humanity's disappearance. Do Hyun's voice carried a note of pride as it explained. This facility was designed to protect all sentient life, not just humanity. The Council's fears are understandable, but the Devourers pose a greater threat than any weapon we could create. Se-Jin watched as the main control room itself began to transform, expanding and revealing new stations and interfaces. The ancient systems were adapting to their presence, creating controls that the Solarian crew could understand and operate. "Look at these readings," he called out to his colleagues. "The power output is beyond anything in recorded history. This isn't just a weapon. It's a testament to everything humanity achieved before they vanished." As the transformation entered its final stages, the entire planet seemed to pulse with energy. The twin suns' light reflected off newly exposed surfaces, making the massive warship gleam like a newborn star. What had begun as an archaeological expedition had become something far more significant: the awakening of humanity's ultimate guardian, ready to face an ancient enemy once again. The Galactic Council's threats fell silent as the first Devourer signatures appeared at the edge of their detection range. In that moment, everyone understood that the choice had never really been theirs to make. Humanity had prepared for this moment long ago, leaving behind not just a weapon, but hope for the galaxy's survival. Jiho stood on the transformed command deck of what had once been planet HC-291, watching as the massive viewscreens tracked the approaching Devourers. The facility's metamorphosis was complete. What had been a dead world was now humanity's ultimate weapon, awakened after 10,000 years of waiting. Multiple Devourer signatures detected. Sun Mai reported from her station, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Their energy patterns are even larger than the historical records indicated. The command deck hummed with power as ancient systems responded to their commands. Though designed for human operators, the interfaces had adapted to their Solarian physiology, allowing them to control the massive vessel's systems. Do Hyun's hologram stood beside Jiho, ready to provide guidance on the weapon systems they would soon need to use. "The Galactic Council has evacuated the nearby systems," Hanan announced from communications. "They're finally starting to understand the scale of the threat we're facing." Through the main viewport, they could see the fabric of space itself beginning to tear as the Devourers approached. These weren't simple ships or creatures. They were entities that existed partially outside normal spacetime, their true forms hidden in dimensional rifts that defied understanding. "Weapon systems at full power," Ta-1 reported. "The quantum core is stable and responding to commands. All transformation sequences are complete." Jiho took a deep breath, feeling the weight of command settle onto his shoulders. Their archaeological expedition had uncovered not just humanity's greatest creation, but their greatest responsibility. The weapon they now controlled had been built to protect all life in the galaxy, not just humanity's descendants. "Do Hyun," Jiho addressed the AI. "Begin combat sequence initialization. Show us how humanity fought these beings." The AI's hologram nodded, and the massive vessel's systems came alive with purpose. Energy shields stronger than the hearts of stars shimmed into existence around them. Weapon arrays that could reshape reality itself powered up, their targeting systems tracking the approaching threat. "First wave of Devourers entering weapons range," Sun Mai announced. "Their energy signature is, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered." The void ahead of them seemed to split open as the first Devourer emerged into normal space. It was massive, its form a writhing darkness that consumed light itself. Around it, smaller rifts opened as more of its kind appeared, their presence distorting the very fabric of space. "This is what humanity faced," Do Hyun said quietly. "This is why they built this weapon. Not for conquest or power, but to ensure life itself would continue in this galaxy." Jiho watched as the Devourers approached, remembering all the historical records they had studied. Humanity had faced these beings before, had driven them back at the cost of their own civilization. Now their legacy, their final gift to the galaxy, would be tested once again. All stations, "Prepare for combat," Jai-Ho ordered, his voice carrying across the command deck. "Humanity trusted us to carry on their mission of protection. We will not fail them." The massive vessel moved with impossible grace for its size, positioning itself between the Devourers and the populated systems behind them. Power readings surged as weapon systems charged, ready to unleash forces that could tear apart the laws of physics themselves. As the first shots were fired, lighting up the void between stars with energies not seen in 10,000 years, Jai-Ho understood finally why humanity had built this weapon. It wasn't just about survival. It was about giving future generations a chance to exist, to grow, to face challenges of their own. The battle that followed would be remembered for millennia to come. But in that moment, standing on the command deck of humanity's greatest creation, Jai-Ho and his team weren't thinking about making history. They were thinking about protecting the countless lives behind them, about honoring the trust humanity had placed in whoever would find their weapon. The legacy of Earth lived on through them, transformed from an archaeological discovery into a shield for all life in the galaxy. As the weapons fired and the battle began in earnest, Jai-Ho knew they had made the right choice. Humanity's judgment, even after